Good day, everyone. I'm Jordan, the moderator for this webinar. I welcome to today's webinar, which is Creating Employee Handbooks that Protect You and Support the Company Culture 2026 update. I want to introduce our presenter for today, Phin. Phin is a California employment law attorney. He has consulted with hundreds of companies to help improve their employment practices. He has presented over 600 times to CEOs, HR, and other executives on what works in employee relations. I would now like to hand over the floor to the speaker. Over to you, Don.
All right. Hey, thank you very much and welcome to everybody. I'm going to be talking today what can be done with employee handbooks because nobody's reading a Times New Roman font printout handbook anymore, okay? That's not happening. At least it shouldn't be happening. And these are started becoming what I'll call culture documents years back, and we're going to touch on that and also talk about some of the changes in 2006 law. I just did a workshop 2 days ago about all the changes coming into 2026 that are going to affect people, and some of that stuff affects employee handbooks. So I'll talk about that a little bit today. So we begin. You open up most employee handbooks, and the first thing you're greeted with is an at-will disclaimer. Then typically, I'm going to take us through how most handbooks I see are set up. Then it gets into job classifications because that has a big deal to do with what type of benefits people get. Typically now we've taken care of job, we get into the wage and hour stuff. So still to this day, the wage and hour, I'm the editor of an employment practices journal now for 23 years. So I see all the cases that come out. So going back to the business about the complaint process. And by the way, I like people, when I did the employee handbook, I want, if it's a print version or online version, I want people acknowledging every page with an initial. Now, if there's one thing that I think is the most difficult ongoing thing to manage, that's leave management, because there's so many different laws related to leave, all right? You look at this map right here, it's sort of like the red states and the blue states, isn't it? And you'll see where the state family and medical leave laws are, all right? We want a really good accommodation policy. People are always wondering about, what about if I work for the federal government and the contracts with the DOT and Department of Transportation, all that kind of stuff. Well, they have drug-free work requirements, and in certain positions, like truck drivers, you have to do mandatory testing and random testing. This is a map from one of my favorite sites that I really recommend that you bookmark, the National Council of State Legislatures. So I'm always looking for primary sources of information, and they do a really good job of going over what each state's marijuana laws are. And again, here's the map. Isn't that a red and blue state map, all right? Pretty much. I know it's green, orange, and yellow, but you get the idea of what people can do where. The telework policies. It's important to put it in the employee handbook, but I'm telling you right now, have a standalone agreement in writing around these policies. And a couple of things to understand. Codes of conduct. And these codes of conduct were originally borrowed from labor management agreements, all right, from the union agreements. And of course, that business of how we handle poor performance, we basically ditched that now. Very few companies I see have any type of tiered disciplinary process at all. This is 2026. We have to have good technology and AI use policies. So what can we use? Going down the laundry list of what else is out there. Lactation laws. We have a lot of specific policies that are industry related. And you'll know what those are, and they've got to be in the handbook as well. Now I'm going to shift over for a few minutes about what you can do that's kind of cool with the employee handbooks. In the first place, I'm sure other people might have done it before that, but the first place that I saw employee handbooks coming to life was in Silicon Valley, and that doesn't surprise me. So you can present it live to your employees, depending on how big you are, and you can do it live on a Zoom meeting. Hey, we updated the employee handbook. Here's the things I really want to emphasize in it. Do what I just did now and go through your handbook with that, okay? So again, we've progressed so far over the last couple of years and what we can do with these employee handbooks. And the two big major changes is, number one, put them online. And number two, use video, both to embed it in the handbook and to train on the handbook. All right, I think that's everybody and everything. We're 5 minutes past. All right, I appreciate it. Take care, everybody. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you, Don. That concludes that session for today. Thank you, everyone, for participating.
All
You
right.
may all disconnect now. Have a great day ahead.
I do appreciate you, Jordan. Thank you.